Hey there guys, I've got an interesting review for you today. My second accessory review for the Nintendo Switch, and my first review on a Switch controller grip. Now this is the Avidet controller grip. That is spelled A-V-I-D-E-T. They've got a bit of a reputation, kind of 50-50. Some say they're good, some say they're not so good. So I wanted to find out, since a pair of these didn't cost that much, like maybe $10, $15. Not that bad. But let's go ahead and take a look at the grip itself so we can see how it looks, how it works, and so you can see everything you want to. Here's one of the two grips. As you can see, it's shaped just like a PlayStation or Xbox controller, so you got these little grips down here that you can wrap your hands around for a more comfortable play. You've got this big Joy-Con shaped slot in here that the Joy-Con literally slides and locks into. On the top you've got two triggers for the L and R triggers. This little rectangle here is semi-transparent, so you can see the battery lights when you got Joy-Cons in them. You got these two areas right here, kind of just like resting areas for your fingers. And on the back, you've just basically got this one hole. And the hole is basically just there to push the Joy-Con out after you're done using it. To give you an example, I'll actually show you how you put Joy-Cons in and out of this. So let's use the red Joy-Con. Just slide it in here. Wait till you get that click. And you're good. Go ahead and turn it on so you can see the light in here. There we go. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this paired up so we can show you the first not so good thing about these things. So let's go to controllers, change grip order. So it's pretty simple. Just hit the triggers and it recognizes, right? Doesn't. And it recognizes. And it recognizes. And you see the first problem. Push it down really hard. And it finally recognizes it. This is problem number 1. These triggers do not work very well. Even when you're in a game like Mario Kart 8, if you want to use the R button and the L button for jumping and weapons, pressing it like a normal trigger will do nothing. You have to actually hold it down, and after about a couple seconds, it will register as, oh, you wanted to hit the trigger, I'll go ahead and do that. Which makes using this really just bad for any games. Now I'm going to go ahead and boot up Mario Kart 8 to show you something good about it while I talk about something else. The other bad part is, first I'll show you how you get it out. So you just push a little bit on here, pops right out. Problem number 2. Let's put the blue one in. Put the blue one in right here. Didn't really hear a clicking noise, and it is very loose here. Because can you hear that looseness? Let's turn the volume down so you can hear it. It is always loose, no matter which one I put it in. Always the left Joy-Con is too loose. I mean, it's got the same trigger problem, but it's loose. It won't go in correctly. But if we go like we did before, Perfect. Actually, this one's a little bit loose too. There we go. Yeah, the red one normally works correctly, but I've never been able to get the blue one in right. So that's kind of problem number 2. But one thing I will say that is good, and we'll just go into Mario Kart real quick so I can talk about it. Doesn't matter what we go into. Playing Mario Kart is difficult because the triggers don't work correctly. But if you're one of those people who don't like using items in Mario Kart, and people who like motion controls, it actually works out quite magnificently. So let's just get into match. Note that I just took the red Joy-Con out of here. Let's see. Let's turn Smart Steering off. Tilt controls on. Now, when you're just using a regular Joy-Con, I mean, there's a lot of play. It's very difficult for me to get a good flow because I'm trying to keep it as steady as I can, and I'm driving really badly. Now this grip changes things. Now, putting the right Joy-Con back in the grip. Now let's resume it. Still a little wobbly, but much more stable than it was before. And that's the one thing I do like about these grips. Let's go ahead and get out of that. We don't need to show that anymore. Holding them here works really well. And the actual form factor is really cool and really stable. It feels comfortable in your hands. It's just the fact that the triggers don't work correctly, and half the time you can't get the Joy-Cons in correctly. Now, if the wobble was the only issue, I'd have very little problem with this type of grip. But it's clearly not what you're looking for single Joy-Con play. And you can even tell a certain lack of effort on the box itself. Like, look right here, where it says Joy-Con, DC Y-Con. It doesn't have the company's name on it anywhere. And even back here, it's misspelled back here. GCY instead of Joy-Con. Now, I mean, if you just want it for Mario Kart, motion control, no item races, I will admit, it's nice. Holding it while you're doing motion controls is really nice. I don't know how well the actual Nintendo wheel does, but this does it really well. But it's just everything else that's not so good. So, because of the severity of the issues here, this is the first review I've done where I'm actually taking more than 1 point per flaw, because there isn't that much about it. So, in conclusion, the Avidet controller grip for the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons is really nice for holding and for motion controls, but the fact that you can't get the Joy-Cons in half the time, and that the triggers are flawed and do not work properly at all, really brings us down to you probably shouldn't actually purchase these. Reviews to Go rates the Avidet controller grip a 6 out of 10. If you'd like to comment on this further, feel free to below, or head to the website at www.reviewstogo.com.